Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a nut-free, gluten-free, dairy-free protein bar recipe to share with you that's super delicious. All right, if you're new here, hi, I'm Claire. Welcome to my channel. Today we are cooking. We are in the kitchen. It is a place I am often on this channel, so if you like this video, make sure you hit subscribe because I do post this type of content quite often. Not specifically like nut-free, gluten-free, allergen-free type content, but you know, that's where it went today, so here we go. You guys may know that my oldest son just started kindergarten. Ugh, bless him. I can't believe he's so old. And when we got there, we found out that his entire school is nut-free. So there are more than one child at the school that has a nut allergy. And while my child does not have a nut allergy of any kind, we can't be bringing nuts to school. Personally, I like the fact that the school is just like blanketly nut-free. I know that if I were to have a child that had a nut allergy, it would totally freak me out every day knowing that they were at school. So I'm totally for it, and I know a lot of schools are doing that. So I thought I would share this recipe. No matter if your child has an allergy or not, the likelihood that they go to a school where they have to just be nut-free for the safety of everyone, I thought I would give you this great nut-free recipe. All right, you're going to need a couple ingredients here. We have oat flour, protein powder. We're going to need a little bit of salt. We're going to need some of this stuff called wow butter, and we'll talk about that later. I've also got honey, vanilla, and some chocolate chips. All right, we're going to start with this oat flour. This is Bob's Red Mill brand. You can find this at any grocery store. You can also make your own oat flour by like blending oats in a blender. However, I find that the store-bought stuff is just so much finer and it works so much better, and you're guaranteed not to have any chunks. So that's 1¼ cups of oat flour. And to this, I'm adding some protein powder. This is my favorite. I get it on Amazon. We need 1/4 cup. And this is chocolate, but use whatever flavor that you want. Vanilla would be good here, or like, I don't know, peanut butter flavor. But if you're trying to go nut-free, then probably peanut butter wouldn't work out for you. But anyway, and that is also dairy-free protein powder, but you don't have to use dairy-free if you don't want to. I'm also throwing in about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, so just like a couple of shakes. And to that, I'm adding my vanilla extract. We need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm actually making my own vanilla right now. It's in the process of being made. So pretty soon here, I should have my own bottle that's been brewing for like 7 months. Anyway, not that you needed to know all that in this moment. To this, I am adding some honey. Obviously, honey is still sugar, so don't be fooled that this is a sugar-free recipe, because it is not. However, I think the honey is just a little bit better. I think it tastes better, and also it really helps hold all the ingredients together because it's so sticky, and that's 1/3 cup of honey. All right, let's get into the wow butter. So I went to my regular grocery store looking for something called sun butter, which is something that I've seen nut-free people use a lot. And next to the sun butter, I found wow butter. I had never heard of it. It is made out of soybeans. It tastes just like peanut butter. I would say it's maybe a little bit more toasty flavored, which I thought was like way better. It was also really affordable. That container was like $4, so not too expensive compared to like what you would pay for a box of nut-free bars, which is way more than that. And we can make, you know, plenty of recipes out of just that one jar. And we needed 1/2 cup of that, but you could also use the sun butter as well if that's your vibe. And if you're not making these nut-free, use peanut butter, but obviously we're making them nut-free. And at first, it's going to seem really dry, but just keep mixing till everything gets nice and combined. And once it starts to get to like this crumbly texture, get your hands in there. You really want to make sure that there's no like pockets of powder in there, because I can't imagine anything more disgusting than taking a bite of a bar and just getting like a chalky mouthful of protein powder. But it didn't take but a minute to just really get it, you know, nice and smooth. It looks like cookie dough. And I am adding semi-sweet chocolate chips. These particular ones do have milk in them. They are not dairy-free, but mix in whatever you want. You could mix in sprinkles, would be cute. I chose chocolate chips, and these are the semi-sweet, just so that they're not like so sugary. But I know that they make dairy-free chocolate chips. Like that's not a super difficult thing to find. Cocoa nibs or something like that you could throw in there. And I'm just loosely combining it to make the dough nice and smooth. And it seriously looks just like cookie dough. I'm using a bread pan to shape this today. It is 4 inches by 8 inches, but if you wanted them to be thinner, use an 8 by 13. You could also make like balls, like little protein balls. You don't have to make them into a bar shape. Do whatever you want to do. So I am going to just press this into the bottom with a little bit of parchment paper just to make it easy to get it out. And you don't need to bake this or anything. So that's also really convenient. This was such a fast and easy recipe to make. I just couldn't believe it. And I'm just like making sure it's all pressed down. I do have one of these little mini rolling pins at my disposal. So of course I use that to make it nice and flat. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. It is totally optional. I went ahead and just stuck in some extra chocolate chips on the top. You can really cover this in chocolate if you want it to be like extra decadent, or if you want to use this as maybe like a more protein-rich version of a dessert. However, this is really for my child in the daytime, so we're not trying to go overboard. And all you have to do is chill it for an hour. That's all it takes. And it's nice and firm at that point. And now I'm going to cut it. And I do want everyone to remember that this is not a low-calorie food, so keep that in mind when you're portioning this out. This is not something you want to eat all in one sitting or give like a bunch of to a child. We put a lot of really nutrient-dense things in there. So just keep that in mind. I cut them into 6, and this is going to be like Fox's main dish in his lunch. So that's going to work out really well for us, but you could also cut these into cubes if you wanted, or, whatever floats your boat. And really, they just looked so good. Like the texture of them was just like cookie dough. Fox said that he thinks they should be called cookie dough bars. So I just told him, like, make sure your teacher doesn't think that they are actually cookie dough. And I'm going ahead and reusing that parchment paper to wrap them up in, just to make it easy for him to pop one in his lunch. And make sure that you are keeping them refrigerated. And yeah, there we go. Super easy. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Seriously, these bars are so delicious. My son has been super happy eating them. And very flexible if you want to change out what your mix-in is. You could definitely make these in a variety of ways to suit your little one or your, needs. Adults can eat these too. It's not just a kid food. So leave me a comment. Let me know. Are you going to try it? Have you ever made your own protein bars? Is this a thing that other people have been doing for ages and I'm just now catching on? Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!